welcome to Home with Kelly P. So today's video is a little different. I had asked back in one of my previous decorating videos, and I believe it was my dining room video, if you would be interested in seeing what I bake for Christmas. And I'm always on the lookout for new recipes, something new to do at any time of the year, but specifically Christmas. And the consensus was yes, that you would be interested. I had been asked to bring some of my squares this weekend to a function at my mom's condo unit. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to share these with you. And I think you're really going to love them. Now, these are family favorites, friend favorites. I'm asked to bring these a lot. So I thought these were the best ones to share with you. And I'm going to be sharing with you 3 square recipes. And one was passed down from my mom. One was given to me from a friend. And the third one, if you can believe it, I've been doing for over 20 years. I got it from a Christmas cookie exchange where we exchanged some baked goods along with the recipe, and it is to die for. People go crazy when they first taste this. They absolutely love it, and I think you will too. So today I'm going to be baking a lemon square, my mom's peanut butter chocolate coconut square, and the all-time favorite, the caramelized almond square. Oh my goodness, wait till you taste this. It is amazing. Now, the other nice thing about these recipes is how simple they are to make. They take very few ingredients and they are so delicious and quite simple to construct. So don't be afraid that you think you can't bake. These are very user-friendly. So I hope you're excited about this. I'm excited to share these with you. I've got my trusty apron here. Of course, it's got nutcrackers on it. So let's get our aprons on and let's get to baking for Christmas 2024. I hope you enjoy. Now, to further put you in the Christmas spirit, I want to show you what happened overnight. We got some snow. It is so beautiful out there. It really puts you in the Christmas spirit. So let's go take a look. It is just, it's so magical. That fresh coat of white snow just is so beautiful. Let me show you. Here are the ingredients that you will need to make these squares. There's a base, a filling, and a topping. 2 ingredients per. That's how easy it is. And best of all is everything is done in this pan. To form the graham cracker crumb base, combine 1/2 cup of melted butter and 1.5 cups of graham crumbs into your pan. Just mix them all together, and then you're going to pat to form the crust. Once the crust is formed, now you're just going to layer your 1 can of condensed milk and your 1.5 cups of shredded coconut. I tend to layer some milk, then some shredded coconut, and then some more milk, and then the rest of the coconut. But you don't have to do it that way. You can do it in any order that you want. Once all the layering is complete, put it in an oven for 20 minutes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. To make the chocolate and peanut butter topping, take about 1.5 cups of chocolate chips and 1/2 cup of peanut butter in a saucepan and melt all together till nice and smooth. I usually like to let my coconut base really cool completely before I add on the chocolate and peanut butter topping. I have used real milk chocolate chips in the past, and that is really to die for. That is my preference. I just had the unsweetened kind in the house, so that's what I use. But you can use either kind, real milk chocolate or the unsweetened. Once thoroughly combined and melted, you're just going to pour and spread on your base and then let it cool completely before cutting into squares. I usually like to let mine sit in the refrigerator for about an hour before I cut into squares, and then it's just time to enjoy. For the lemon squares, here are the ingredients that you are going to need. So to make the base, you need 2 cups of flour, half a cup of icing sugar, and 1 cup of softened butter. Now I'm not gonna lie, I sometimes do melt this down quite a bit just to make it easier to manipulate the dough. So don't be afraid to do that. I've done that many times. So for the filling, you're going to need 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar. So this is not for the lighthearted. A 1/3 cup of lemon juice. Now the recipe does call for freshly squeezed lemon juice and about a teaspoon of lemon rind, but I usually just use the lemon juice and it works out perfectly every time. And then to mix into the filling, after you've mixed all that together, you will need a 1/4 cup of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and that will get mixed into the filling. To make the base for the lemon squares, you're going to combine 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of soft butter, and half a cup of icing sugar, and combine until it forms into a dough. Press the mixed ingredients into a 9x13 greased pan, then bake at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. The base is baking, mix together 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, and a 1/3 cup of lemon juice. Once those ingredients are mixed together, add in a 1/4 cup of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can mix these together in a separate bowl and then combine them. I find it works just fine either way. Now you're going to pour this mixture on top of your base and return it to the oven for another 25 minutes. And once it's done, remove from the oven, let it cool. For a midday break and to get some of these dishes cleaned up before I try to tackle the almond squares. Here's a little tip. After a few minutes of letting the lemon squares cool for a bit, I usually like to take a sharp knife around the edges just to try and loosen them a little bit. They do tend to get stuck sometimes, but it's not too bad. And to finish them off, I take a strainer with some icing sugar and I dust the top of the squares with the icing sugar, and it just is the little bit of icing, excuse the pun, on the top of these squares.
here's what you will need to make these almond squares. For your base, you're going to need 1 1/4 cups of flour, half a cup of butter at room temperature. Again, I do tend to sometimes microwave this to soften it up, and 2 tablespoons of icing sugar. Then for your topping, you're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of half and half, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then about a cup of sliced almonds. To make the base, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Lightly grease a 9-inch square baking pan. Blend the flour with the butter and the icing sugar in a medium bowl until well mixed. Then you're going to pat evenly into a pan and bake that for 10 minutes. For the almond topping, you're going to combine 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of half and half, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And you're going to bring this to a boil on your stovetop and boil for approximately 3 minutes. Do not add the almonds until you have brought the mixture to a boil for 3 minutes. I usually like to make the topping once my crust has come out of the oven and is just cooling slightly. After adding the almonds, it's time to pour it onto your cooled base and pop it back in the oven for another 10 to 13 minutes, which will depend on how hot your oven gets. I find the 11 to 12 minute mark perfect. Remove from the oven, the filling will still be bubbly and will set upon cooling. After the filling has cooled completely, then cut into squares. And here's a final look at how all the squares came out. I am so happy with them, and I can't wait to take them to my mom's gathering on the weekend. I think they're going to be a big hit. Well, I know they will be a big hit because people had asked me to bring these, so I am thrilled to do so. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on trying any of these or all 3 of these recipes. Thanks for hanging out in my kitchen today and baking along with me. I really enjoyed bringing you these recipes, and I hope that you enjoyed it as well. If you did enjoy it, I would love if you would give it a big thumbs up, share it with family and friends who you think might like one of these recipes, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you back as I share more home decor, home inspiration each week. So until I talk to you in my next video, guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. And sometimes when you're baking, there's what we like to call in this household the throwaways, the ones that maybe aren't quite pretty enough to put on a plate. So I had to put some aside for my husband and I to enjoy.